thanks to the lovely folks that distribute Voigtlander in the UK, we've been sent the 55 f1.2 f-mount lens.
Imagine they release an f-mount lens in this day and age, where the mirrorless cameras are all in vogue right now. They didn't forget us DSLR users and release the f-mount lens that can be used on DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, and also the regular old-fashioned SLRs.
It's amazing. So what we've got here is a D800 with the 55 1.2 on it. I've also brought along my own 55 1.2 AI lens, which was made by Nikon back in the 70s, and it is a beautiful lens. And then we've also got a film camera to test it out on. So we're going to do some comparisons. We're going to have a little play and talk about this magical new lens. This is my lens that I've had not since 1977. However, it is one of those heritage lenses. Nikon, shortly after making the 55 1.2, actually opted for a 50 1.2, which is known and loved to this day. We even have a Z mount version of the 50 1.2. In terms of optics, the Nikon 55 is 7 elements in 5 groups, whilst the Voigtlander is 7 elements in 6 groups. However, the Voigtlander has more aperture blades than the Nikon. The Nikon is 7 aperture blades.
And this one's got a warping 9, so the bokeh will be buttery smooth.
Hopefully a bit rounder looking bokeh elements, that's what we're thinking. Aside from that, the Nikon lens is a bit heavier, it's 410 grams.
Well, this one is only 365 grams.
But really, the only way to know what the true difference is between these lenses is by putting them on a camera. I'm expecting the Voigtlander to be a bit sharper with hopefully less artifacts because it's newer optics and it's got all the new coatings.
Absolutely. There's also a 58mm 1.4 lens from Voigtlander, and it would be also interesting to compare the two. However, we don't have the 58 1.4 available for us right now, so maybe one for the future video.
Exactly.
So what are your thoughts so far on the lens?
It's really nice. Focusing is very smooth. It's very, very well built. I don't yet know if I prefer it to my Nikon lens. I'm going to have to do some comparisons. I've just been kind of getting to grips with using a DSLR again, to be honest. I'm not enjoying the experience. It's quite nice to put a DSLR in my hands again after a little while. But yeah, overall very nice. The images will speak for themselves, I imagine. I see you've gone with the Voigtlander on the Z6 Con.
Yeah, it just makes more sense because while I'm focusing, I can zoom in to 100% to confirm that the image is sharp because it's got electronic viewfinder. You know, with optical viewfinder, you can't do that. And once you get used to those things, and for some people it takes, you know, a bit of time to do that. For a lot of people, it's pretty straightforward. But once you get used to this, you can definitely see the benefits of having an electronic viewfinder within the camera, especially with the lenses like this, wide open manual focus.
There you go. Next, we're going to see what it's like on a film camera and go back to basics.
It's funny, we went from DSLR to mirrorless and then back to film.
Yeah. I've just switched back to my Nikon 55 1.2 and I immediately miss the little green focus confirmation. I know I've got focus peaking and I can zoom in, but that extra reassurance that it's in focus just suddenly feels lacking for me. So I'm obviously completely spoiled.
We like all the new modern things.
With the old. We like the mixture of the new and the old, but the convenience of the new with the look of the old. That's
Agreed.
what we like. I found flowers, so I'm happy.
In a forest.
Wouldn't be one of our review videos without me squatting.
No. You can see how that's going to work really well in black and white. It's actually not bad. Directly into the sun.
Yeah.
Well, through the trees. It's actually not bad. What's your thoughts, Becky?
My thoughts are that the Voigtlander is very convenient, particularly if you're using a mirrorless camera, but also just convenient all round because you've got the CPU chip, the camera knows what it's doing, you can see your aperture through the viewfinder. It's the little things.
That's true. And while the rendering is quite vintage, you got some much better coatings on this. So the flare control, chromatic aberration control is a little bit better compared to Nikon lens. However, Nikon 55 lens, which is 50 years old now, is a real bargain because it gets you almost the same image quality and very similar rendering in a way, but at much lower price.
That's right. So secondhand, if you can pick up a decent copy, you'll probably get a 55 1.2 for around £400. The Voigtlander is 550 brand new. Obviously the 50 1.2, which was a later lens, is more expensive if you are looking for a slightly newer style of lens. But overall, I would say from about f2, 2.8 onwards, you're getting very similar rendering on both. So ultimately the choice is yours. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you found this review video useful, and don't forget that you can purchase Voigtlander lenses from Grazer Westminster.
If you found this video super useful, there's Soup Things button as well. Click it, treat yourself as well as us.